All right, so I never go live on the NFL channel, but I want this to be clear. The Saints do not fire Dennis Allen now, like this second. He should already be fired. If they don't freaking do this, and you better come a little bit closer, I'm done. I'm cooked. I'm throwing all my Saints stuff away, and I'll just do general NFL coverage on this channel and focus on LSU, a team that actually makes me happy. Focus on Liverpool, a team that actually makes me happy. Yo, I cannot take this anymore. Okay? I just can't. So I've already released a film breakdown. I know that's what all of you guys want. But if you want more live streams, which is my favorite thing to do, it's what I do full time, let me know. I would love to do more live streams on Power Hour NFL. Okay. Tonight marks the end of everything, right? It's a perfect way for the Saints to turn the chapter to something new, because we are still living in this quasi Drew Brees era, and we should celebrate Drew Brees. There should be a statue of this guy already up. It should already be up in the Superdome and outside and on Poitras. It should be there. There should be a statue on every corner for what he did for the city of New Orleans. But we have got to turn the page and not only strip the roster down to the studs, send our veterans to contenders, see what we can get for them, but also strip everything down to the studs. I mean, start everything over. Everything. Not a stone unturned. Start everything over. All the way down to the studs. Because we are just in this good old boy era, the good old boy network, where we still have Mickey Loomis around, and he could go run the Pelicans. He can go do something else. You could keep him around. But he should no longer be running this roster, because anybody that has any inkling of rationality knows that Dennis Allen was not the right man for this job. He was the worst coach in the NFL last year. And that is saying something, because Nathaniel Hackett was a coach last year, always an OC, but you get the point, right? There are plenty of bad coaches, but Dennis Allen is the worst, because for some reason the Saints think he's good. The worst thing in the NFL is when you think somebody is good, but they're actually bad. They're actually terrible. All right? We have got to strip the entire franchise down to the studs, all the way down to the studs. No stone unturned. And I feel like tonight was the perfect way to go out. The Sean Payton regime, where the Broncos, I don't think I've ever seen this before, had as many Saints on their team as the Saints had Saints on their team. I mean, everywhere you turn, Quan Alexander. Everywhere you turn, Will Lutz. Everywhere you turn, Lil Jordan Humphrey, Adam Troutman. It's over. It is time for us to turn the page. Everybody's getting hurt. Paulson Adebo broke his femur. He's done. Rashid Shaheed's done. Chris Olave's concussed. I mean, everybody's hurt. It is time to just start new. It is time. Okay? It was right for Sean Payton to stick the dagger and turn it into our hearts. And he deserves that right for starting this whole thing up in 2006. So we're cooked. Chase Young can't tackle a soul. None of our other new guys are really doing anything. At least you saw Kendre Miller. He's been on a milk carton. It's done. All of it's done. So it's time for us to move on. Loomis out. Allen out. Those guys need to be out. Fired. And I know that seems harsh considering, the Brees thing just happened, but it's time. Okay. Now, what do you do next? Well, we just don't really have a plan. I feel like we do not have a plan at all. I don't know what we can do with some of the cap situations we're in. I'm not smart enough to fully understand all of it. I know Kai Harley can figure something out, make him the GM, but we need someone new, someone fresh from the old era out, new era in. Now, we also need to have a conversation about Spencer Rattler, who is terrible. Okay, so type Y for yes, type in for no in the chat. Do you believe Spencer Rattler should be the guy? But I won't go that long because I got to get up at the ass crack to drive to Fayetteville, Arkansas for work this weekend. Can we start a petition to get Tyron to retire and could be LSU's TV coach already? Mickey Loomis is an incredible, disingenuous GM. This is my lifelong bestie. I could see him tomorrow. Sean Payton is to the Saints what Ty Story is to Arkansas. I had to leave and beat us to. What makes you think? What makes you think you could come up with something like that? So there you go, TJ. If only we knew when we were together in July. Jared doesn't care anymore. Jared's going to be with me in Fayetteville. Pumped up about that. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. I honestly just don't know what else to say. Did I feel like our guys gave up? Yes. Tonight, you could see it. And honestly, since, most of my viewers here are most of my LSU folks, as we pull up the box score here from this game, 389 to 271. Saints with 2 turnovers to Denver's 1. Broncos 22 first downs to 15. 33 to 26, the time of possession discrepancy. Like, all of this is just too fresh. Like, normally if LSU loses, I could just spit 1,000 things out at once. For some reason, the fact that it was Sean Payton makes it that much worse. Like, I swear. Like, if for some reason I go up to Fayetteville this weekend and the worst happens, that won't make me hurt as badly as what happened tonight because it was Sean Payton. And here's what blows my mind is the Saints really thought Pete Carmichael being fired was enough. They really thought that. And here's the thing that drives me crazy. This blows my skull open. Is I believed, me personally, I believed in this team when we were 2-0. I believed. When we beat 4'11" Bryce Young to a pulp, I believed in this team. And then the Dallas Cowboys happened. We blew the brakes off of them, and they were the 2 seed in the NFC. And we really thought we did something. We really did. And then the Eagles happen, where we allowed Dallas Goedert, who runs a 5'8", 40-yard dash, to complete a 3rd and 16 mesh route, a shallow drag on a mesh concept for the football coaches out there that want to correct me. And we let him run down the sideline for the game-winning tutty. And then we let the Falcons on a freaking muff punt, throw a pick 6. Let's get the Falcons all the momentum, and they're now 4-2. But I'm actually glad. There is a piece of me that's glad that those results actually happen, because now we see what this team truly is. And we honestly believed. We all believed in the Saints at 2-0. We all believed. It was stupid. I'm looking at each and every one of you that also believed. You're as dumb as I am. I know I shouldn't be saying that by trying to get new viewers. You're as dumb as me. You're as dumb as me. And then we got to get to the real bad news here. Y'all knew that this era of Saints football is over. And they always make this joke. Anytime you see a defensive back drop a pass, anytime. Anytime you see a DB drop a pass, what do you always say? Well, that's why they play defensive back. That's why they don't play receiver. But that doesn't apply to the best college defensive back of all time and a member of the NFL All-Decade Team, Tyrann Mathieu. There are wide receivers you don't want in a situation that Tyrann Mathieu was in tonight. An overthrown pass hitting him directly in the chest, and he dropped it. Y'all, that lets you know. And you can be the biggest LSU hater. You could be the biggest Saints hater in the world. You know Tyrann Mathieu does not drop that. When have you ever seen him drop an INT? Ever. He never does. He never does. He's got the best ball skills of any DB we have ever seen. Whether it's stripping, picking, it doesn't matter. That is who you want. Dropped it. Hit him right between the 3 and the 2. We are so cooked. We are so cooked, man. So cooked. So cooked. Okay? Now, I've always been honest about my Saints fandom. If I had to choose between LSU and the Saints, I'm always an LSU fan first. Okay? And obviously, my LSU fandom stretches to all the players that play on all the different teams. But I do tend to care for LSU players more when they do play for the Saints because it's two birds with one stone. Telling Jared, out of division loss don't count. Who dat? Let's go to CJ. He says, listen, we lost. It could just be the best thing to happen. Let's go to our first super chat. TJ, who do you think the hot head coaches' names will be? Whatever we do, please don't get a recycled name. So obviously, what I think, TJ, right now, a lot of fans would want to see is Dennis Allen get fired and Clint Kubiak be the interim head coach. I actually don't think that the Saints would do that. They would probably put someone else up because Kubiak probably wouldn't just want to be an interim, right? So I would probably put a special teams coach up. I don't know. Okay. It is the second super. Is it? Oh, we got a super sticker from Jared. Thank you so much, man. Can't wait to get on. Jared just wants Casey. What's the name of the Mechanical Bull bar in Fayetteville? That's all Jared wants to do is get on Dixon. Who? Okay, so obviously Saints fans want to see what the team looks like with Clint Kubiak as a head coach. First off, an offensive-minded head coach, and second off, the son of an NFL legend. All right. So there you go. Now, if we were going after a defensive-minded head coach and you wanted to get rid of Mickey Loomis and you have an owner in Gail Benson who would let the head coach do what he wants to do, and you give that head coach a lot of power, obviously the biggest name out there would be Bill Belichick. I don't think that's a fit, but What I would tell you, okay, now before you poo-poo on the idea, I would tell you that Bill Belichick would be motivated to coach against the Atlanta Falcons because they passed over him. All right. So there would be a little extra something for him to really dive deep into this team. But then again, he is older and this is a full rebuild, right? Like, how many elite young pieces do the Saints have right now? All right. How many elite young pieces? Does Gail need a husband? My wife may play along. Huh? CJ says Mike Vrabel. Yeah, I would not mind that. Obviously, he's a defensive-minded coach. But yeah, I would prefer an offensive-minded coach. I would. Even though this last hiring cycle was mostly defensive-minded coach is. So if you want a name that's kind of hot right now, and he does have head coaching experience, this would be the guy that would end up getting the Saints job. And it absolutely ticked me off, even though he is doing absolutely wonderful things with my favorite human on the planet Earth. Cliff Kingsbury. Yeah, it does make some sense. But I would hate that hire. I would hate that hire with a bazillion % of hate. Now, obviously, there are plenty of offensive-minded coaches that I would be very interested in hiring. I think my favorite, and this is just my favorite offense to watch in the NFL right now, is Ben Johnson of the Detroit Lions. Obviously, they run a really innovative offense, and that would be someone I would be very interested in. We'll see how the Falcons turn out. Zach Robinson, the Falcons offensive coordinator, would be interesting. Hurt a division rival in the process. If you want an offensive-minded coach, would you want to do something drastic like go to get Liam Cohen of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Obviously, if you want to go young, offensive, hungry for an opportunity, but no head coaching experience, that's where a lot of the league is gone, right? Mike McDaniel, no head coaching experience. Shane Steichen, no head coaching experience. So if you want to do that, there is no shortage of head coaches out there. But if you want a proven defensive coach who has won divisions, won playoff games, squeezed a lot out of the roster more than what they actually had, I would seriously consider Mike Vrabel. I don't mind that decision. I know, TJ, you're the one that super chatted, but I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it. Okay. So there you go. But yes, if there was a firing, Kubiak would more than likely be the guy. But like I said, a lot of the firings, the interims are we had a few guys have career games tonight too. Javante Williams. Javante freaking Williams. Okay. First ever game with 2 tutties. First ever. In a single game. Mm. I'm just waiting to see Adam Schefter, Dennis Allen fired. Max says Bobby Slowick is overrated. Well, he is a Shanahan guy. All right, I will take a few more, and then I'll be done. I understand this live stream isn't as good as my normal live streams. You know, it's interesting if watch Garrett Nussmeier play another season at LSU. And he goes to the Saints. I'm so cooked, dude. I will say TJ is one of the biggest Saints fans I know. All right. Take a look at this. It's never good when a player rightfully says something like this. AK-41. You know, it was a cool night for him being one of Drew's teammates. I've been here 8 years, and I've never seen the don't clear out like that, and I can't blame them. They're fed up. Normally, a player says, hey, true fans stay till the end and support us while they're down. And AK just keeps it real like he always does. They're fed up. All right. That's going to do it for me. I'm cooked. We will see you in Fayetteville on Power Hour LSU. If you do want to see my Saints video breakdown, it is I'll post in the chat. Okay. Fire Dennis Allen all day, every day. Okay. There's a link for the breakdown. Power Hour NFL. Drew, congrats on your big night. And tonight we are doing, I don't even know. Let's go.